Happy New Year, everybody. We are going to do something a little different, at least for a little while. With these videos, we're going to take a look at Walther's Law and Gospel. Great way to start the new year. This is designed especially for seminary students. This is CFW Walther was the first president of my alma mater, the seminary in St. Louis, and also the first president of our synod, and wrote a great book about distinguishing between law and gospel. And we're going to take a look at least at some of the theses that he used sort of as fireside chats with the seminary students a long time ago. But these are really important for us. You'll see that it's geared for the pastor or pastor-to-be, but I'm going to read it to you, and I think you'll find it very valuable. The first thesis that he has is the doctrinal content of all of Holy Scripture, both Old and New Testament, consists of two diametrically opposite teachings, namely the law and the gospel. He writes, "My aim during these hours is not to treat the doctrine of law and gospel systematically, but rather to show you how easily they can be mingled in spite of their great difference, to the detriment of your hearers, thus frustrating the purposes of both. However, you will be interested in this point only after you see clearly just what the difference between law and gospel is." So that's what we're going to focus on, the difference between the law and the gospel. And you may be surprised in what you hear. Hopefully not, but you may. He continues, "Law and gospel must not be differentiated as if the gospel were a divine teaching, but the law of human origin, the product of human reason. No. What Scripture has to say about both of them is all the word of the living God himself." Again, the difference is not that only the gospel is necessary but not the law, as if it were merely an addition we could do without. No, both are equally necessary. Apart from the law, we do not understand the gospel. And apart from the gospel, the law is of no use to us. Nor is this the difference, as is often naively supposed, that the law is the teaching of the Old Testament and the gospel that of the New. No, the gospel is in the Old Testament and the law is in the New. In the latter, the Lord opened for us the seal of the law by purging it of Jewish ordinances. Again, the difference is not that each has its own final goal, as if the gospel were given for salvation and the law for damnation. No, the ultimate goal of both is man's salvation. Except that since the fall, the law cannot bring us to salvation. It only prepares us for the gospel. And subsequently, the gospel gives us the power to keep the law to some extent. Nor is this the difference that these doctrines contradict each other. There are no contradictions in Scripture. These doctrines are merely different and yet in complete harmony. Again, it is not that only one of these two is intended for Christians. The law continues to apply also to the Christians. In fact, whoever no longer makes use of the one or the other is no longer a true Christian. Pretty amazing stuff, right? I know you're not following along and I'm reading to you and you may have trouble getting some of this. I strongly, there's a million different editions. I think there's now a reader's edition of this at CPH. I would love to do a discussion on this sometime. I strongly encourage you, get Law and Gospel by CFW Walther. You can get it at Concordia Publishing House. Take a look. Each one of them is broken down. It's so easy to read one a day that most of them aren't more than a couple of pages. I only read to you a couple of paragraphs from the first thesis. There's a whole lot more there. We could very easily do a series of videos just on this one thesis. There's so much stuff in it. But this is just a little bit of a teaser, if you will. If you have questions about what you heard, if you'd like to know more, if you would like for me to pursue this more, let me know. I would love to, especially if I know there's some folks out there listening and interested. So let me know. God bless you all. God bless your week. If you don't have a place to go to worship, sure, that was poorly put, wasn't it? Of course you do. God has so richly provided so many congregations, especially in the Evansville, Indiana area. Oh my goodness, we have so many faithful LCMS congregations that would love to have you. But if you're looking for one, we would encourage you to come check out Concordia, 9 o'clock Bible class, looking at Titus, and 10:30 is the divine service. We hope that you will consider joining us if you're in the area. God bless you all, and again, Happy New Year.